The BBC will make mistakes. I think people are trying to make an issue out of the Bellingham and Tuchel thing. Well, the Rest is Fest taking place in September 2026. It will be a mishmash of all our podcasts. We'll be doing live shows here. I'll be doing the Rest is Football, and it'll be quite nerve-wracking doing it in front of these many people, even though I've played in football with big crowds, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we've worked out it's really the chemistry between the hosts that makes a good podcast, and they need to really know their subject, and they need to have that little bit of magic between them, and also it needs to be regular. You can't do a series of 8 and then disappear for 3 months. People want it all the time, so we have a motto called always on. I listen to the newsagents sometimes, depending on the subject, what's happening. I listen to 1 or 2 interview ones if I'm interested in the guest. So even, I don't really love the ones that go on for hours. But there is still, if there's a good guest on an interview show like Joe Rogan, or I will listen. And we've got so many now, obviously, across the Rest is particularly, and then there's Empire, and there's Sherlock and Co, which is the best drama pod, or the #1 drama pod in the UK, which is ours. So I listen to all of them at different times. I listen to them when I'm walking my dog. I do it when I'm cooking, when I'm travelling, because I always get the tube or the train. So I'm trying to keep pace with all our podcasts. There are just not enough hours in the day to listen to every episode of every series, but I do listen to the vast majority. Well, the BBC's, it's a huge institution. I love the BBC and I love the people that work there. It will always have trials and tribulations. It can't not do. There will always be mistakes made, and clearly this was a silly mistake. I don't know how it happened, no idea. And they didn't even need to do that to make it look the way it did, because we all know it had something to do with with January the 6th. So the BBC will make mistakes. It makes thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of television and news and stuff, so there's going to be the odd thing. And the 4 guys, generally, the Director General, and pretty much all of them have had the sack over the last 30 years at some point. So there'll be ups and downs of the BBC, but it remains, I think, the most respected and the fairest media organisation that there is. So we can learn a lot. I think people are trying to make an issue out of the Bellingham and Tuchel thing. I don't think there probably is. Jude's a huge superstar. He's just come back from injury. That's probably why I didn't put him in the last squad. Thomas Tuchel may be trying to make a point to show his boss. I suspect he's not. I think when they came over to this squad, he probably said to him, everyone's gonna play 1 and a bit games. I'm going to give you half an hour in this game, and then you're going to play in the next game, and then the press, and they'll be asking him questions, and Thomas answers quite honestly, but I very much doubt there is an issue. I think it would be probably grossly exaggerated. I'm very non-confrontational. I can't cope with it. I don't like upsetting people, so I definitely couldn't be a manager. I can run a media empire, but not a football team.